Hello everyone.
Hello.
So today we're going to have our meeting as we have planned. And before maybe we start our meeting, I'd like everyone to introduce himself. Like let me introduce myself. My name is Krivi Rambona, and in this anthropology class, I learned about two culture, which is Japanese rice and whey and koi. And also, myself, I conducted a field research on kaunga as my culture. And I would like to give to everyone the first so that you can introduce also yourself.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Antoine Nijena. As you know, in this project, also I did different part of this project, but specifically, I conduct research on my assigned readings. First of all, I read about the food rituals in Hinduism, weddings, and also I read about the Pennsylvania dark cuisine. Finally, I conduct my self-research about Rwandan culture food, which is called Rwandan butter. Yeah.
Very interesting. I would like to listen to that.
Thank you. My name is Nshimima Nedik. In this project, I was assigned by two cultures. The first one is delegating at football game, and the second one is potlatch. And myself, I have conducted my individual research related to Luchakalala, which is more related to Rwandan culture. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So in this meeting, as you have, as we will be maybe like proceeding, everyone will have the time to read a group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which means that when we reach on your assigned culture, you will take the readership so that you can read that part.
Yeah.
So the agenda of today include the terminology. We'll have a part where we are going to discuss the terminology, and of course everyone is going to participate. And also we have the assigned culture discussion where everyone will lead the part of his own culture. Eric will lead the first part with his assigned culture. Antonio will follow, and me also, I will lead the third part.
Yeah.
And also, in addition to that, in this meeting, we will analyze those 9 cultures by looking at their commonalities and differences, so that you can see what the similarity and the difference. I think everyone is getting it. And also, that sort of commonality and difference will be led by Eric, and then the part of, and there is also another part which is the last, where we will plan for the final report of this project.
Yes.
And Antoine will be in charge of that. Yeah, thank you so much. I think maybe we can start with the first part, which is terminology. And in this part of terminology, of course, as I have told you, everyone will be telling us some briefly, some like everyone tell us about two terminology.
Yeah.
Maybe Eric will start and I can follow and you can continue. And what you are going to do on this part, you are going to explain the two terminology, and then you will tell us how they imply in this anthropology, in this research that we did, in this class that we read.
Yeah.
So I would like maybe so that you can start on this first part, and then we'll continue.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to start with two first terminologies that I'm going to talk about, and those two terminologies are encapsulation and ethnocentrism. In this, by defining those terminology, I will also give you an example that apply to terminology and how we approach studying those cultures that you have learned and assigned to. The first terminology that I'm going to define is encapsulation. Encapsulation refers to a continuous life learning process whereby an individual learn culture, context, characteristic, and value of his or a given culture. An example, for example, in Hindu weddings, when you are a child, you grow up learning how when Hindu wedding goes and how they make it. Through this continuous life process from your childhood to the way you will be married, you learn how Hindu weddings are processed and how they are done. And another terminology is ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is the evaluation in terms of superiority of someone else's culture compared to anyone else's culture, or judging cultures in terms of superiority differing to one's culture. An example that I can give you from our Ascend culture that I can give you that is applied to this terminology is that when I started reading the resources related to tailgating, I thought in mind that it is American people are crazy and rude because they try to share food and drink in parking lots. And as a result, I try to think that Rwandan culture is very superior and good to American culture because people in Rwanda didn't either eat food or drink in parking. But as a cultural anthropologist, I used cultural relativism in order to approach these cultures and learn it. Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for giving us good examples. Maybe I can follow.
Yeah.
We also, I would like to tell you about two terminology, cultural relatives and symbolism. What do you understand by cultural relatives? Then, when you are an anthropologist, this is a mindset where you don't compare your culture with others' culture. Similar to, it is like the opposite of interculturalism. Which means that if maybe you are evaluating as others' culture, you put aside your own culture and then you evaluate their culture compared to themselves. How their culture is important for themselves. You not compare it with your culture. For example, anthropologists use this cultural relative spirit. If you don't have this cultural relative spirit, you can't know why is it important for them. But these are for anthropologists, they must have this one so that you can be a good anthropologist. And this is what was needed when we went to the field research. Yeah. And then symbolism. Symbolism is when there is a physical, something that is physical, that represents something in a certain society, that symbolizes something in a certain culture. Here we can maybe give an example. Like for Hindu weddings, like for them when they are in their weddings, they used to give a coconut to the groom, and for them they don't want to give it because it is afraid, just because they want to give it to him. No, they provide it because for their culture to represent wealth and prosperity, and it means that if they give it to you, there is something that they are telling you. Yeah. They are wishing you to have prosperity and wealth. Yeah, that's what we call symbolism.
Okay, thank you. Now give me your attention and explain you the remaining terminologies. I'm going to explain you the meaning of two terminologies which are subculture and rituals. Normally, subculture is a unique culture that a small group of people in the whole society have, and that culture differentiates with the culture of the whole society. For example, while I was conducting my research, I conducted the useful and the meaning of Rwandan butter in a given society, in my Rwandan society. And then when I was conducting the research, I went to a family, but before starting my research, I asked myself, is the Rwandan butter a subculture of a given part of our country, or is the culture of the whole country? And I found that the Rwandan butter is not a subculture, instead it is the culture of the whole country. In addition, about the ritual, normally when you are an anthropologist, you learn and you find the meaning of something that the society used to do and to make in the everyday life. Ritual is a continuous actions that involves the use of symbolics or things or another object that can be occurred at a given period of time and at a repeated time. For example, in American culture, tailgating is a ritual that involves fun by sharing food and beverages, and that rituals used to be in autumns. It is rituals because specifically it is mostly occurred in the autumns, and in America, but they know that tailgating is used to be taking place in the autumns, and that is the ritual of the Americans. Thank you very much.
Which means that maybe a wedding can be a
Yeah,
ritual.
yeah, it can be a ritual.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. And then this was the first part of terminology, where I was letting them to different anthropologists action that happened. And then I would like maybe to give the floor to Eric so that we can start our second part of what we are going to discuss the class that we were assigned to, and also the field that we did, the two research that we did.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. In this second part, I'm going to talk about the two assigned culture that I have conducted research on, and those culture are tailgating and potrachi, as I have said. First of all, I'm going to introduce those culture, and then I will give you findings that I have found by studying and conducting research on those cultures.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to start with tailgating. Tailgating in American culture is an autumn rite whereby that has fans, involves a lot of food and beverage. They took place most of the time in parking lots, and also it is more associated to American football. Because it is participated by many people, the people tend to take tailgating as a big ceremony, as a ritual. And then in tailgating is a time whereby family get together and people get to know everyone else, share what they have in common, and also enjoy and also cheer for their team in American football, because tailgating most of the time happen before the American football take place. And then what I can say is that there is some food that's considered important in that culture. In American tailgating, as I can say, it is not pretty much related to food, but pretty much related to how people share together and people go together to share their life. For example, the food that's considered important in this culture, there is grilled meat, hot dogs, hamburger, pork chops, and chickens. But all those food they are associated with beverages. I can say that according to John Shelley, one of a cultural anthropologist from a university called University of Notre Dame, said that the cultural significance of sharing those kind of food is that sharing those food make people feel communal and social. And then tailgating has some value in American culture, because tailgating highlights some value, for example, being social, friendly, and motivated because you are with many people. And then let me jump through to the second culture that I have learned, which is potlatch. Potlatch also was a ceremonial feast held by Native Indian Americans, while they celebrate this potlatch through dancing. Most of the time, potlatch is associated to wedding and social occasions that arrived within those Native Americans. And then potlatches, it is invited whereby in that event the guests are invite other tribes to share food, receive gifts in order to distribute wealth and prosperity. Is what I can say. And then According to Wayback Machine, I can say that the food that considered most important in this culture is seed meat accompanied with seed oil. They share those food together.
Okay, they are provided at the same time.
They
are provided. You said that it is accompanied by another food.
Yeah.
They said they bring it at the same time.
It means that the food that is considered the main important is seed meat, but the seed meat is cooked with the seed oil. They cooked it with the seed oil. And then the ritual associated with fish and seed meat is that they were served and shared at church where many people get together and share that meat. And then according to by going forward to my individual field log, that field research that I've conducted, I conducted a field research that is related to Luchakarara. Luchakarara is one of the food that's considered important in Rwandan culture. It is considered important because it is made in sorghum. As we know, in Rwandan culture, sorghum is considered as a symbol, as a plantation that symbolize harvest. And most of the time, Luchakarara is used in many rituals, in weddings, not only in wedding, but also it's used in harvest ritual. For example, I can give you an example of Umuganura. Umuganura is a ritual whereby Rwandan is a ritual in which Rwandans go together and celebrate for their harvest. It always takes a place in summer, in August.
So you said that it's made in sorghum. Is it the porridge one or this bread?
Yeah, it is a blade. It is a blade. And
it's a bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
And its color it is black and some kind of lead.
Yes.
So I have a question to discuss on. If you know, by studying the American tailgating, I was thinking that it is rude and for American to share food and drinks in parking lot. So by starting, I started with cultural by ethnocentrism, thinking that our culture is very superior to American culture, and American culture is Americans are rude and crazy because they share food in parking. So how do you think?
Normally, as you know, we are now feeling like anthropologists, and what I like for anthropologists is that anthropologists, they don't pretty much based on their own culture, instead they consider others' culture.
Culturality.
Yeah. By thinking cultural relative anthropologists, I think to share food in parking lot, I think it is not problem for Americans because it is their own culture. So I think that action is not good because their own culture and you have to respect their own culture. Thank you.
Yeah, I think also like if we are going to, we don't even have to compare because they their culture and also for us we have our own culture. But maybe we have to think, why do they do that? Is it because they don't have houses? Is it because they don't have enough time? Is it because maybe it's when maybe they can find many people? Like maybe we see like in many places, people are leaving their driver in their car and they are going to the restaurant, they are sharing with others. But if maybe they want to include many people and include them also their driver. So I think maybe it depends on what is pushing them to do that. Yeah. And I think maybe for them it is very important and it's very good because they evaluate. It means that there are some they respect what they want. They have something they want to achieve, which is different from maybe from one.
Okay, thank you very much for your insightful and great ideas. I appreciate it because I realize that to evaluate or to study a given culture, you have to have cultural relativism rather than ethnocentrism. Thank you very much. Let me give you a talk to Antoine and continue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Give me your attention.
Yeah.
I'm going just to tell you about the food ritual in Hindu weddings. According to Lisa, in the article which is called Food Ritual in Hindu Weddings, in Hindu weddings, mostly that ceremony is covered by different various rituals and foods are mostly used in those rituals. Mostly, the most important foods that are used in Hindu weddings are coconuts, paste of corn, and also they use sugar brown and rice. You can ask yourself, what is the meaning of that? Coconuts, rice, and what? So to use those food is not an accident. It's true, they have the meanings that they want to communicate through the ceremony. First of all, the coconut is the food that is used at the beginning of the ceremony. And that coconut is used in a way that the bride and father hold that coconut and they put that coconut in the hand of the groom. That has something to mean. That means that the fathers of the bride want to give blessings to the household that are going to be established by bride and groom.
The new family.
Yeah, the new family. And also the coconuts in Hinduism mostly used to symbolize prosperity, and that prosperity will be making the life easy to the new family that are going to be established. In addition, the paste of corn seeds and brown sugar are also used during that ceremony. That sugar, brown sugar, and this paste of corn are used in a way that they take a mixture of brown sugar and coconut and they put on the leaves. While they put on the leaves, the bride and groom take that leaves and they put in the head of the people who were in the ceremony, while the mattress of the priest will be talking about through the ceremonies. And that want to mean that even if the life can be good or bad, but they have to keep in mind that the household can be butter and sweet, because the corn is butter while sugar is sweet. So you know that the family should be sweet or butter. So that is the same, that rituals of coconuts and brown sugar want to mean to the bride and groom that they have to be aware that the family can be sweet and butter.
Interesting.
Yeah. In addition, the rice is used in this ceremony. Rice normally is used in a way that the bride and the groom take the rice and they blow to each other, meaning that rice want to mean that they will have the sustenance in the family, and also the participant of that ceremony used to know who will be dominating in the family. And when the groom take a lot of rice and they brought to the bride, they say that the groom will be dominant in the partnership. While when the bride take a lot of rice and they brought to the groom, they say that maybe that bride will be dominating through the partnership. And those are how much those food take place in this ceremony, and this how the food rituals occurs in the wedding ceremony. Yeah.
Is Hindu weddings a ritual? Or?
Yeah, it's a ritual. Yes, it's a ritual because it's something that is commonly known in the Hindu wedding, in the Hindu culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
And every young man and young girl have to make a wedding. Something that's happening at a certain stage.
Exactly.
For every child,
Exactly.
he or she hope to have a wedding. And then for Hindu, every
exactly.
Hindu child have to
Yeah, exactly.
have a wedding. Yeah.
So by synthesizing those rituals, food in the Hindu weddings, I found conclusion findings of how I think. Based on how they use coconuts to express blessings, based on how they use rice to express sustenance, based on how they use seed of corn and brown sugar to mean that the life can be butter or sweet. I found that in Hindu weddings, they value the culture of weddings because they know that in the marriage, the bride and groom have to be aware that the life can change, and this is why I say that in the Hindu weddings they value significantly the ceremony of wedding. Yeah. Now let's go to the second culture that I read about, which is called Pennsylvania dark cuisine. Pennsylvania dark cuisine. Yeah, normally, according to Shu, Pennsylvania dark cuisine is a cuisine that have been introduced by immigrants. You know, in the last year, there will be a lot of immigrants from Europe to America, and the German and Switzerland went to the Pennsylvania. Based on what I read from Schund, I found that in the Pennsylvania cuisine, they have two significant food that have a significant meaning in the whole society of that Pennsylvania dark cuisine. Those food are gambis and hackberries. Gambis is a traditional food in Pennsylvania where they make gambis in a way that they take like a meat, but when the meat is going to be rotten, they use that kind of food and it becomes gambis. That gambis is made in a way that they take that meat that is going to be about rotting, and then they put on the plate. Then after they take the plate, they cook on the stove. And there is interesting things in the way they eat. They share this food in a way that they take a common pot and they put those gambis, and then each person eat that gambis by picking up from the common pot and they eat. Yeah.
They share.
Yeah, they share.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Another one is called hamburger. Hamburger normally is a food that I will say that they were immigrants from Europe to America. They thought that hamburger in the way they were coming from America. They were coming from Europe. Yeah, they were coming from Europe, and then they reached in the way that they didn't find something to eat. And then, because they were forest and what, the hunger makes them to feel critically, and they found a tree which called hackberry, and then they try to turn that hackberry into a meal, and they eat that. That's how their creativity and critical thinking arises during that critical situation of hunger. And by analyzing and synthesizing this, they found that Pennsylvania cuisine and that in Pennsylvania are critical thinker and creativity, and they have a lot of thinking about how they can be overcoming any situation, because the hunger came and they thought about how they can turn hackberry into food. Yeah. Let's continue and tell you about my individual research that I did, individual of course. As I told you while I was introducing myself, I make a research about Rwandan butter. Rwandan butter is a traditional food in Rwanda, and it is produced from the milk of a cow. Yeah, I did this field research, where I went to a family of a person A. For the security of that person, I called him a person A, in the family of person A.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And then in that family they have a lot of cows, and of course they tune the milk to produce Rwandan butter. I make various interviews. I make interviews about the rituals of that Rwandan butters, and also I observed various materials like gisabo. Gisabo is it's like Rwandan pots. And also I found various things how the woman who were tuning will sit down with the Rwandan pot on her leg. Yeah. And then I found that in that Rwandan butter, I found that based on what I saw and what the one who were tuning told me, he told me that to tune and to produce Rwandan butter, you have to be clean and you have to be clean in your hands, in your clothes, wherever, so that the Rwandan butter is so clean.
And also materials.
Yeah, of course. Materials.
High
Yeah, of course.
hygiene.
Yeah, and also they told me that Rwandan butter has a rituals where they use Rwandan butter to give thanks to a woman who gave birth a new child. Yeah, they use Rwandan butter to give thanks to that woman. Those are the ritual. And based on what I've saw, I saw that Rwandans and the people who were involved in that activity value the sanitation so much because they have to tune the Rwandan butter while their clothes and their hands are so clean. And also, I found that because the way they were thinking that women who give birth a new child, that action will take place voluntarily. They don't charge anything to provide Rwandan butter. Instead, it's like a sign of unity and sharing and having a common understanding about the new children who were on the earth. And I found that Rwandan butter is very important in Rwandan life. So I'd like to ask you some questions based on what I've told you. Based on what I've told you and what Erika has told you, I would like to ask, between Peninsula Dark Cuisine, the way they prepare their foods, and the portrait, what do you think they are more creative thinking and creativity?
Okay. What I can say, I think in Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine is more creative because, as you know, creative and critical thinking involve your ability to think and to try to solve a problem that have arrived. And I realized that in the Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine, people has met and encountered a problem of hunger and harvest. And by encountering that problem, they find solution by trying to find hackberries in order to survive or to make it until so that they can continue to survive. I think that is pretty much kind of creativity and innovation that they made, which makes them to be more critical thinking than how they prepare their food compared to potentially how it is prepared.
Yes.
So I agree with Eric. Really, it contains a lot of creativity. Because like transforming something to another thing, it is like a high level of thinking, and it is, of course, creativity, and it contains a lot of intelligence. So I agree with Eric.
Yeah, thank you for your answers. And me also, I believe that is hackberry shows the high creativity of Pennsylvania Dark Cuisine. So I can pass the word to Mr.
Thank you so much, Tuan. Okay. Now the ball is mine.
Yeah.
Japanese rice. Thank you so much for talking about the rice in Hindu weddings. Then here we are talking about Japanese rice. This is something that is very important. Say again, very important.
Okay.
Why? For Japanese, always they have rice in their meal. If you have a dinner, if you have like lunch, if you have supper, if you have breakfast, you have to include Japanese rice.
Interesting.
It's something that's very interesting. Then also another thing that is very interesting. For them, rice, they call it gohan. I'm not good in Japan language, but they call it gohan. And then Japan, for them, this word gohan means cooked food or cooked rice or food. It means that when they have cooked rice, it is called gohan, and even if they have food, it is called gohan. Why? Because always when they have food, it includes cooked rice. And also, when they are calling like this type of category, this category of food, like breakfast, supper, dinner, whatever, they call it using the prefix of gohan. For example, for them, breakfast is called asagohan. I'm not good in speaking English, but the one that is ending is gohan. And then for lunch, it is called holo gohan. And then for dinner, it is called bango. You see that always is coming. I'm not going to speak Japanese, but that's hard. That's what I find. And also, like for them, they take Japanese rice as something that is energetic. Like for in the like, if you don't have Japanese rice, if you don't have rice, it means that you don't have food. You don't have gohan. And then, like if you try to see in the in the history. When it's like they had like a time where rice was not enough, and they could reserve it for soldiers. And the other country, in the other civilians in the country could eat any other thing, but the Japanese rice could be reserved for soldiers, which means that they think that this rice is very important and it has some, it can give you energy, so that and that's why they reserve it for soldiers, so they can get they can have like enough energy for on the wall. And that was in the Second World War, of course, yeah. And also, there's something that is very interesting that I learned. Like as you see, some people used to have rice and then pour on them some soup, but for Japanese, no. They eat rice as white as it is. That's their culture.
Okay.
And they are.
What about the stick that they use?
Yes, they use chopstick. They are. They are like sticks. Two sticks that they use for their culture. It's very good. Like when you see someone who's enjoying it, it's very good. Then that's what they use when they are eating, and they can make their rice in many ways. Like for example, I'm going to give you one example. There's one called rice ball, where they cook rice, and there are some other ingredient they use. Like they can make like rice ball. They shape it with their hands, but the palm of their hands, and they can shape it and give it like a ball shape. And those are the one they transport even as snacks. As you know, here we take like the spoiled as snacks and what for them. That's enough if you have Japanese rice. They can make those ball and transport them. And what I have realized, like for them, that also is very interesting, is that in every ceremony, every ritual, they have to cook rice. Not only in their meal. That if they have a wedding, they have Japanese rice. Any ceremony of them, they have rice. I think it's something that's very important for them. Yeah. Another culture is Hawaiian poi. Hawaiian poi. You know this thing that we call amateke in Rwanda?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It is started from it is called taro roots. That's one that we call amateke. And then when poi, like of course it is a culture of Hawaiians, and these Hawaiians they are natives from the country called Hawaii. And Hawaii remains like only 1,000 pure Hawaiians in the world, but other people who live in the Island reserve the culture of Hawaiian. That's why they use like this poi. And also something that is very important for this culture. It is like as I told you, it is made from taro roots, and taro roots, as you know, they are not like for them they do not eat it as like mateke that we eat here in Rwanda. But for them, they pass through a process called kui.
Ko.
Kui.
Okay.
And through that process, they use a stone in a wooden board, and there are different norms that they get them in that process. It's not to have to do that process. You don't have, you don't need to, you don't have, you still to have to do it. You have to be safe. No wood on your hands. You have to cut all your fingernail. No fingernail if you are going to do it. Another thing, if you are a girl, you have to remove everything, earring, those like buds, everything. And then also another thing, you have like to hold your hair in the back.
Oh.
Yes, for girls. And then you can start to use like to start that process. And something that is very interesting again for this this culture, they do not do it in their everyday life only, but they use this one in a university.
Oh.
Yes, there is a university there where they teach students about poetry, and there are some
It's
doctors.
like a faculty of poetry.
And they provide some workshops,
Okay.
yes, about poetry, and like they teach them how to plant them. There are some rituals they do when they are planting them. After like 6 months, they have to collect their babies, because when you plant something and start to bring some babies, you have to remove them and bring them in another place. Yeah, there are some different things that they used to do, and also therefore like for poetry, it is unique for Hawaiians, and for them they value it for so much, and it have many significant spiritual significance, because it was used in their traditional religions, and also in their ancestor or their previous like father and mother survived from it. They eat it before, and then people are still believing that this is the food that our ancestors survived from, and thus this is what we have to eat. And that's another thing, they bring the family together. It means that when they are going to eat it, they come all together and share. And that's something that they value, because they get united again. Okay, that's what my Asante culture, but also let's talk about my field research. Now, my field research, I was very interested in something that I did many years in my life. What is that? Can you guess?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Can you guess?
Maybe it is Kaunga.
That one, like like Rwandans. This was not the culture of Rwanda. But among the terminology that you have said, there is also another external terminology that I learned called acculturation.
Okay.
Acculturation.
Yes.
Which is different.
What does
from
that mean?
acculturation.
Yes, it's different from acculturation. What does that mean? Acculturation means like to adopt other culture into your culture. Yes. It means that there are some one culture is infused with another culture. Yes, this Kaunga
Yeah.
has been adopted by a subculture called Banyamulenge. After, yes, they are Rwandans, but they have been in Congo for many years ago. And when they went there to look for where they can get their cows, and when they reached there, they used to eat kaunga with milk. Yeah, and kaunga is like the bread made from maize,
Which is white.
which is very white. I know you eat it in secondary school. I know. I can see. And then for them, I visited one family. For sure, an anthropologist. I gave them some other names.
Yeah.
And I visited Mama Wera's family. When I reached their home, I noticed everything that was happening there, and I interviewed them. And what I realized is that when they are making it, they don't have vegetable. For sure. A mom, a dad, anyone can make it. And it is simple and very easy.
Wow.
Let me tell you some short steps. You have to put water on the stove and on fire. And when it boils, you bring the maize fruit, and you have to mingle with nothing else with fire. And then when it gets better, Time for good swell. Can and then also another thing that I noticed when they want to eat it, they come out together. My dad, my mom, children, they come out together. They have some commonalities there. I have seen that there are some are common, and they come together and share. And also, for them, if they consider like kaunga as energetic food. I asked them why they like kaunga, and they told me that kaunga it's food. It means that if they eat kaunga, they don't get hungry easily. And also, they told me that like for the reason why they used to eat it when they were in Congo, they couldn't get many times food. But when they eat kaunga, they could survive for a long period. And also for them, they use kaunga because they want to be energetic, they want to work hard, and it is easy to get. It is not very expensive, and many people can afford it. And as you know, Rwandans like to be united. They want to share together. They want to work hard. They want energy. Yeah, that's why that's one of the main reasons they like it. But also I asked some kids and they told me that they like it. It is sweet, it is good, it smells well, and also when they eat it and they go to school, they don't get hungry easily. But and also something that is very important for them because they want to keep their work going on well. Yeah. And also something that I would like to share with you. Let's discuss with you. I have seen that like when I was conducting my research, many of them are focusing on energy. They are focusing on like getting energy to work. And then what I want like to know from even what you have like settled on. Did you notice like this one also? Maybe like is there any way we have heard that they eat food so that they can which which can make them hungry easily so they can eat along many times. Because like for me, I saw that they want food that cannot make them hungry easily, and also they want food that can give them energy. So what about your research on that topic of energy?
Okay, what I can say, basing on my individual research that I have conducted, as I have said, I have conducted individual research related to Luchakarara. And Luchakarara is very, as I have said, it is, beside being used in some of London ritual, it is taken as a London breakfast, whereby they take it in order to have energy that will help them to survive all the whole day long. Because most of the time in traditional period, most of Rwanda used to cultivate, and then before going to the field to cultivate, they take Luchakarara in order to feel more energetic so that they can have energy that can help them to dig deep the hole.
Thank you so much. I have said about acculturation. Before in Rwanda, they used to use Luchakarara, right?
Yeah.
But now they have been acculturated with that culture, and you cannot get easily Luchakarara. They are using now kaunga. Very interesting.
For me, what I learned is normally not related to the energy, because the golden butter is not for the energy, it is for having a good health.
Life.
Good life. Because golden butter was used also to heal the wounds.
The wounds.
It used the wounds. So
it is more health.
more health and creativity. So it's not.
But your health, you have energy in your body. True. Yeah. Thank you so much for your contribution. I think maybe it has some connection so you can understand. Maybe this can be the end of our second part, and then maybe we can move on the other part that will be read by Eric. It is commonalities and difference, and Eric is going to read us in that part so that we can discuss about them.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me what. As you have said, and through the all cultures that we have learned many things, and then as we have seen all of the things, we have noticed from the culture that we have learned, for example, as Antoine have said, there's some culture that have some commonalities, and Cleavers they have said there's some cultures, most of them have something they share in common, which is as Cleaver have said, if I'm sure that he said that there is some, even Hawaii poi and in Japanese rice, they share those food together. It's something that they have in common. For this part, we are going to discuss about commonalities and the difference across all 9 cultures we have learned. So I will give the talk everyone so that can give us some of commonalities and difference he has found on those cultures we have discussed about them, and then after we will continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me start. According to what I have said here, I have seen that all food culture are associated with specific eating rituals. It means that every food have a specific ceremony or a specific thing that's happening at a certain moment in a certain place that is related to. For example, when we talk about when we are talking about Japanese rice, it has a specific ritual. We know that they are used in their lunch, and something that is kind of again coming like that. When we go to coconut, coconut is used in every wedding, which is a ritual. And I think that's something that all they have in common. And when we go to the difference now, something very interesting, I have seen that there are some cultures that have taboos and others don't have taboos. For example, when I was conducting my research on Kaunga, I was sitting on this one. I wanted to know there are some taboos that are behind Kaunga, but they told me they don't have any taboo that is related to it. And that's why it is very easy for everyone. Because if you are a girl, you can make it. If you are a boy, you can make it. Or a housewife, whatever, you can make it. No limits. But when we come back to on the Korean point, there's some trouble. If you have a wound on your hand, you think you can make it? You are excluded. It's very interesting.
In addition, I found that all food cultures have significant cultural value in their cultures. Can you see how that occurs? For example, in Hindu weddings and in Rwandan Bata, I found that the Rwandan Bata have a significant cultural value because Rwandan Bata shows that in Rwandan culture they value sanitation. And also in Hindu weddings, I found that the Hindus values their weddings in a way that they spend a lot of time in various rituals and that ceremony. So all food cultures, they have significant cultures in their considered culture.
That's good. That's why even you have to have a culture that is prosperity, because you need to know behind the significance of their culture.
In addition about the difference, I found that it's not all food that are shared together. For example, in Rwandan Bata, they don't share butter together. That is the difference. While, for example, in the Pennsylvania dark cuisine, the way they eat gambis, they put the gambis in the common pot and they share together. So the different cultures have also the different things that they differ each other. Thank you.
In addition to that, I can say that people adapt those eating rituals related to food culture through enculturation. We have seen in this cultural terminology that enculturation is a continuous life learning process whereby individual acquire norms and values and the culture of a given culture. So I think that those eating rituals, for example, if you are in a wedding, there is food that's related to Hindu weddings, and to know those Hindu weddings, it's a continuous process that we learn from your childhood. from your childhood, and you learn that there's some food that related to that thing of culture. And also I have realized that from the individual research that we have conducted on, I have realized that everyone from people learn those eating ritual, even kaunga, even bita, even chakarara. People learn those eating rituals from their childhood as through inculturation. And then from the side of differences, all food culture did not require celebration, either dancing or singing or use some kind of symbols. As we have said in Potlatri, the native Indian Americans, they celebrate their ceremonial Potlatri through dancing, whereby they go together and dance. But you cannot find in London culture where people they share foods or also share kaunga and they dance. No, it is in common they share without dancing. It is a very clear difference that you cannot find up in all across cultures. And then most of food eaten in rituals are food that people eat in their daily life. For example, when you try to see as a commonality or something they have in common, you can see Japanese rice is the food that all Japanese that eat in their daily life. And also, as you know, kaunga also has become a food that every people eat in their daily life. And as you have said, in Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine, they also they take hambis and also hackberries as something that they eat in their daily life. It's something that all cultures have in common. And on the side also of the difference, the cultural value in which those food are made, eaten, shared are different. For example, in the culture, in the culture where Potlatri or Hawaii poi was created is very different in the culture where kaunga or chakara was made or Potlatri or food shared in Potlatri are made. As you have said, an example is that in Hawaii, the Hawaii poi have some taboo, so there's something that you have to have in order to make it. But in Rwandan culture, to make chakara or to make bita, there is no taboo that required, or there is something that required to be made in order to make that kind of food. Thank you.
Yeah, also what I want to say about communality and difference is that the food cultures influence how the society or people in society perceive themselves. For example, in Rwandan culture, Rwandan butter makes Rwandans to think themselves like they are more creative and they like sanitation because they use that Rwandan butter to heal the wounds while they didn't took any classes for medicines. And also they use, because the way they tune the buttermilk, they use the sanitation. So in Rwandan culture, they value the act of sanitation and creativity and how they perceive themselves.
I think also, as everyone was saying, all food are not shared. They're not shared, a lot of them. Like for Japanese rice, everyone can take like those rice bowl. You can eat it anywhere. Yeah, that's what they make snacks. But like for poi, all of you to come together and the same for kaunga, which means that they have also another difference. Okay, I think like this part also is done. And maybe we can go to the fifth part. Yeah, the final part. Yeah, Anton is going to guide us so that we can plan for the report, for the final report. Anton, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. You know that we have to be smart and to plan how we have to complete our project and to write the final report.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know that in the final report, we will discuss about the culture that we want.
Don't worry, we'll be taking some notes so that we can remember it.
Yeah, we have to include the discussions of the culture and the final writing report. and also we have to include the menus and our findings. So just it's like I would like to have a conclusion of when we what that report, when we meet together to write our final report, and when we proofread and make the final step to our final report.
Okay. Me, I think because the final report as I see it have many components that we have to include in, and also we have to give it time because it involves a grammar and spelling part whereby you have to sit together and make sure that we edit and proofread. It means that in my perspective, because today we are on Monday, I think we can put it on weekend because we have a lot of time and do it on because we are on Monday, we can put it on Thursday. Thursday we can meet together and try to connect those components by including those menus and feed logs. And then in the weekend on Saturday and Sunday we can meet together and try to proofread and then submit it at later than that.
Yeah. Also, my view is not generally different.
Maybe let me tell you something. Like we are taking many things, and according to the recipe that we have, we already have many documents that will be coded. I think maybe we can plan days according to what we have to do, how much work we are going to do. I think maybe we can look at what we have and what we need to work on, and then try to assign some different tasks. And then after that, we can estimate and see maybe we need more 4 hours, we need more 3 hours, and then we are going to plan on which day we can meet, and you maybe have those 4 hours. What will be the next step? The next start.
Yeah.
It can be very helpful.
It can be helpful. So I think, based on what you say and what you say, I think we are on Monday, and we have, of course, we should leave this meeting by knowing when we submit this project. So my point of view, I'd like to say that I want to submit this project on Sunday. So from Monday to Sunday, I think we finish the.
It's possible. It's possible.
I think we can meet on Wednesday, right? And then on Monday, on Wednesday, and we meet together our report, our field log, and our 6 menus together, and then after that, what we will not have that time, we will take at least 3 hours or 4 hours to read, to search. After that, we will meet again on Friday. On Friday, we will combine what we have made during the research.
Yes, Antoine. I agree with you totally. But like when you see on the part of the report, there are 5 things that have to be included. So maybe we can look at the things that are already done, and then we can also plan for those things that are not done, so that you can know how much time do we need. Because right now we don't know how much time we need. We need to know if, we need to estimate and say we need 4 more hours, and then we are going to look where we can fix them.
Okay, so my perspective, based on what we have did, we on the 6th part of the recipe, project recipe, as you see, for A, we have the things that we don't have. We don't already have a discussion of cultural anthropology. It's something that we have to search, and then description how each member did her feed log is have to do it, and also discussion of community and differences, as we have already discussed in this meeting. And then also it means that are things that we are going to put together so that we can incorporate in the feed log. So my perspective, what I think is that we can divide all those tasks together, and then everyone have a task you will work on, so that on Wednesday you can meet together and discuss what we have found so that we can incorporate in our field log. For me, I think I will take the first one, the A discussion on cultural anthropology and research information, and also those perspectives.
You're gonna send them in.
And also, I will take the first one, A. Antoine will take D, and Clive will also take E, because E is very easy because we have discussed about it.
Yeah.
So for Antoine, what we did is we will give him our finding and try to combine them so that we can incorporate
Now,
in the
I can see that things are somehow not complicated as you have seen before. Then what we have to do, I think like for these things, for 4 hours and a half. And let's say we have requested for Wednesday and Friday. It can work. Maybe on Wednesday we can meet like 1.5 hours. And then on Friday, which is the final day, we can work for 2.5 hours, combine them and proofread them. And then the other process that we continue is like to change the format of the video, to compile them, to get everyone know where we are, so that you can go into all citation, and then on Sunday to go our deadline to submit.
Interesting things that we have realized that CFA has changed. So there's someone who will. It is not necessary for everyone to submit something that we have done in a group. So it is important that we can live here by knowing someone who will submit for the whole group those kind of assign those very.
Of course, you are the one.
Okay. Thank you to nominate me.
Thank you so much for accepting.
So I
and maybe another thing, so we can say specify the time and the way we are going to meet. You take notes, please. That's
okay.
On Wednesday, we will meet 2 p.m. on the house of Felix, right? We meet at your house.
at
2 p.m. on Wednesday.
Okay. It's a good time.
On Friday, what do you feel?
Me on Friday, I think because we meet at my house. On Friday, I think we will meet at Clive to proofread and make sure.
on Friday.
On Friday. At 2 p.m. also, and then the last thing on Saturday to make sure that
I think everything can be done on
It
that.
can be done
There are many
on
things
on
to be
Friday.
done.
Okay.
Can
On
be
Friday.
done.
It's up
So we will be in touch.
In time.
Nothing else, if maybe you upload the video and work. But also think about the network, because like to upload
it's
video.
full. We have
It's full.
That's good. That's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
So,
Then on Friday, it's also like at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please start.
And then place for like on Wednesday,
on the
Eric's house.
Clive's house.
And Eric's person, so I think the same.
yeah.
To our neighbors. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Cliff, it's time for you.
So we are done.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows what he will do on the reports. Yeah. On my side, I'd like to thank everyone
Yeah.
so much for your participation in this meeting. Really, it was a great discussion. So now you know what you learned and what you learned.
Yeah, the most interesting thing that I have in mind is that every cultural anthropologist have to think as
Spiritual force.
Yeah.
Spiritual.
Yeah.
So I think like maybe after have done this project, we need to be good anthropologists in our
Of
life.
course.
Yeah.
exactly. So we are done.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I think we will meet next time on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
See you.
Yes.